Volcanoes are seriously terrifying, right? I mean, these natural disasters can wipe out entire cities in just seconds. Just think about the famous eruptions in history, like Mount Vesuvius or Krakatoa. Those events left scars on our planet and in our memories that we'll never forget. But here's a wild thought. What if every volcano on Earth erupted at the same time? Could our world actually handle that? The ash clouds would block out the sun, leading to a dramatic drop in temperatures, and the fallout could cause some serious chaos. It's a scary scenario, but it really makes you wonder about the power of nature. If you had a good time watching this video, I'd love it if you could give me a thumbs up. It really means a lot. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more fun stuff coming your way. Thanks a ton for tuning in. Can't wait to see you next time. Then, we have the active ones, like Kilauea in Hawaii, which is constantly putting on a fiery show. Imagine the chaos if they all erupted together. The ash, lava, and gases could seriously mess with our atmosphere, affecting climate and air quality. It's a pretty scary thought. What do you think would happen? Would we all be buried in ash, or could we find a way to survive? Let's explore this together. But just how big are these volcanoes? Well, the largest active volcano in the world is Mauna Loa, located in Hawaii. The sheer size of this volcano is truly humbling. It covers an area of about 2,000 square miles and towers 13,680 feet above sea level. That means if Mauna Loa were to erupt, it would cover the surrounding area in lava and ash, causing widespread devastation. Luckily for those living nearby, scientists closely monitor this volcano so an evacuation could be initiated before any destruction occurs. And although Mauna Loa is the largest active volcano on Earth, it isn't the most dangerous. That title belongs to Mount Vesuvius, which is located near Naples, Italy. The reason why this volcano is considered the most dangerous is because of the high population density around it. Nearly 3 million people live within 60 miles of Vesuvius, which is much closer than the 200,000 people who live near Mauna Loa. So while the massive size of Mauna Loa makes it a terrifying sight to behold, the sheer number of people living so close to Mount Vesuvius makes it a far more dangerous threat. However, when we're talking about a global catastrophe, it's important to take a look at some of the larger dormant volcanoes scattered across our planet. These inactive volcanoes may not pose a current threat to human life, but their past eruptions show just how powerful they really are. Take Yellowstone National Park's supervolcano, for example. Located in the northwestern United States, this giant caldera is 43 by 28 miles wide and reaches depths of up to 12,000 feet. If this volcano were to blow, the surrounding areas would instantly be covered in ash and the entire country would feel the effects immediately. And while a super eruption from Yellowstone would cause chaos across the US, it wouldn't be enough to destroy the whole world. Yellowstone's super eruption would release roughly 2,500 cubic kilometers of ash and pumice into the atmosphere, but that is absolutely nothing compared to the largest volcanic eruption in recorded human history. This eruption occurred at the La Garita caldera in Colorado and unleashed over 5,000 cubic kilometers of ash and pumice. To put this number into perspective, that's equivalent to the weight of 1.4 trillion bowling balls. As you can imagine, this type of destruction doesn't happen very often. In fact, the La Garita eruption was only one of 3 events in Earth's history that would even come close to wiping out the planet. The next event happened back 74 million years ago in the form of the Deccan Traps. Located in India, this volcanic eruption lasted for approximately 600,000 years, spewing forth lava, ash, and poisonous gases into the atmosphere. Scientists estimate that over 2 million cubic kilometers of ash and lava were released during this time period, which is around 12 times more than the La Garita eruption. That's certainly a lot of destruction, but not nearly enough to destroy the Earth. In fact, there was one final eruption that came even closer to destroying our planet. Roughly 18 million years ago, a series of volcanic eruptions known as the Siberian Traps occurred. Unlike the previous eruptions, this event didn't take place over a span of thousands or millions of years. Instead, it all happened within a time frame of 1,000 to 100 years. During this time, an estimated 3 million cubic kilometers of ash and lava were released into the atmosphere. To make matters worse, this eruption occurred during a time where Earth's atmosphere contains significantly more carbon dioxide than it does now. And while that might sound like a good thing, it actually made the Siberian Traps extremely deadly. After the dust settled, the sky became filled with toxic gases that caused global temperatures to rise by 3 degrees Celsius. That might not seem like a big deal considering current global temperatures are fluctuating over 1 degree Celsius above normal. But keep in mind that this temperature increase happened quickly. Temperatures rose so fast that animals and plants couldn't adapt in time and many species went extinct. So you might be thinking, will something similar happen again if every volcano on Earth erupts at once? Well, the answer might surprise you. You see, the Siberian traps aren't considered the largest volcanic event in Earth history because of the amount of ash and lava released, but rather because of the amount of carbon dioxide that was pumped into the atmosphere. It's estimated that between 1,100 years, 200 billion tons of CO2 were released into the atmosphere. That number is hard to fathom. To put it into perspective, humans emit roughly 36 billion tons of CO2 each year. So the Siberian traps released over 5 times that amount in less than a century. So if every volcano on Earth erupted together, including all active and dormant volcanoes, the resulting amount of CO2 released would be greater than the Siberian traps. And that means that the world as we know it would cease to exist. So let's talk about what would happen exactly. If every volcano on Earth erupted at the same time, the amount of carbon dioxide released would trigger an uncontrollable greenhouse effect. Temperatures would begin to rise rapidly, causing the polar ice caps to melt. Sea levels would then rise, flooding coastal cities and displacing billions of people. To make matters worse, the atmosphere would become so thick with ash and smoke that sunlight wouldn't be able to reach the surface. Plants would die, causing mass starvation. The air would also be filled with toxic gases such as sulfur dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, and carbon monoxide, all of which would cause respiratory problems and death on a massive scale. In short, the world would become a toxic wasteland unfit for human life. But even if somehow humans managed to survive the initial eruption, they wouldn't survive for long after. Most of us have seen the movie Dante's Peak or even its less successful counterpart, The Day the Earth Stood Still. In both movies, the characters are faced with an impending volcanic eruption that threatens to destroy the entire city. But what's interesting is that both movies depict the same basic scenario. A volcanic eruption causes widespread destruction and loss of life. While these movies may be fictional, they accurately portray the destructive power of volcanoes and the potential impact they could have on human civilization. Take, for example, the eruption of Mount St. Helens in 1980. This catastrophic event was the deadliest in US history and resulted in the loss of 57 lives. It also caused over $1 billion in damages. Or consider the eruption of Mount Pinatubo in the Philippines in 1991. This eruption was the second largest of the 20th century and resulted in the deaths of over 800 people and caused over $600 million in damages. These real-life events demonstrate the devastating impact that volcanoes can have on human lives and property. They also highlight the importance of scientific monitoring and emergency planning in mitigating the effects of these natural disasters. If you had a good time watching this video, I'd love it if you could give me a thumbs up. It really means a lot. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more fun stuff coming your way. Thanks a ton for tuning in. Can't wait to see you next time.